Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian, and I'm in a sack of potatoes or some shit, I don't know. Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian, and it's Wednesday. Actually, it's not Wednesday when I'm recording this, but it's Wednesday when you guys are watching it. Hopefully. Maybe someone is watching it. Probably. Anyway, today we're going to be doing something a little different, because I've had a big old think. As usual, that's gonna get me in a lot of trouble, but the think is that I'm doing 3 videos a week now, and I started doing that after the Grump Bump, which is when Danny gave me a very nice shout out about my Space Quest playthrough, and all of a sudden I went from 300 subscribers to an awful lot. We're like around 1,700, 1,700 if you're actually good with numbers. So that's pretty awesome, and that also means that at the end of my videos, I say, leave me a comment, because I do really like the comments, and that means that people are actually starting to leave me comments. So I thought I'd do one of those reading your comments videos, because I quite like those. I quite like those when other YouTubers do them, and I have no original thoughts in my head whatsoever. And I've always kind of wanted to do a reading your comments video anyway, so I'm going to do that. But with the 3 videos a week schedule, that was the point I was going towards, was that, Wednesdays are kind of this sandwiched in between kind of day, and I think I've got a system worked out that's going to be, quite beneficial for, you've got Tuesdays, those are the Space Quest days. I'm going to reserve Tuesdays for, like, classic games, like games that either I have played before, or just, like, old school, really, the core of the adventure game genre, really get into one of the good old games, so to speak. And then Thursday would be for, like, modern type games, like new adventure games that are coming out, new and exciting games that I'm really excited to play. And then sandwiched in between, we've got the Wednesdays. And I was thinking of, like, reserving Wednesdays for, like, whatever type videos. We've got some co-commentary videos coming up, kind of like what I did with... No, not kind of, exactly like what I did with Joe Mastriani with the Star Trek The Next Generation of Final Unity videos. I've got 2 more of those kinds of videos coming up, and some other things, like if I get back to doing video reviews and doing things kind of like off-balancey kind of things, one-offs for instance, or video reviews, or whatever else kind of weirdness might crop up, and one of those could be like reading your comments videos. These are either, questions that I can answer in videos like these, or they're just simply very, very nice things that people have to say, and some of them have constructive criticism, and that's, I like constructive criticism. People have suggested things that I could be doing, all of this sort of stuff. I haven't gotten any of, the loathsome hate that some YouTube comment fields are renowned for. And, well, kind of hoping that won't happen, but I know, of course, if the channel keeps growing and all that, we will inevitably get to that point. I am, however, also getting a bit ahead of myself, so I think we should just jump into it. First comment of the day. Naked. Well, I wholeheartedly applaud this. I myself am often naked before and after recording videos, and sometimes even from the waist down during recording. Have fun with that mental image. I'm glad I found this channel. I have never heard of Space Quest until now, and it looks very fun. Now that actually makes me very, very happy, because being a kid growing up playing Space Quest and thinking it was the best game of all time, and I still do, then I'm very, very happy to have at least somehow imparted some of that infatuation onto other people. Even it looks very fun. It's just, that's good enough for me. As long as I can spread the message of Space Quest, the gospel of Wilco as it was, then I'm happy. So I am new to all of this. Why won't you talk about King's Quest? And yeah, I've gotten a couple of comments like this, like what's wrong with King's Quest, and to be perfectly honest, there's nothing wrong with King's Quest, at least not in the sense that I want it eradicated from the planet and everyone who plays it should just feel very, very bad about themselves. It's not like that at all. I just don't like King's Quest personally. I've never been into the whole fantasy thing with, you know, dwarves and elves and magic and horseback riding and chivalry and knights and swords and dragons and all of this nonsense. Sorry, it's just never been my thing. I have never watched a Lord of the Rings movie from start to finish, never read any of the books, never beat a King's Quest game, never beat a Quest for Glory game, never gotten into, never played Diablo, none of that shit. It really doesn't interest me, and it's weird because I know you kind of lump fantasy and science fiction into one category, and you kind of expect people who are into science fiction to be at least marginally interested in fantasy as well. And I'm just not. Really, I'm not. I read the first 2 Discworld books, but that was mostly because they were funny. So really, it's not because I loathe King's Quest. I will make that joke, and I will make that joke a lot, but if King's Quest is your jam, then all the more power to you. I just really, really don't. No, it's not me. Almost got myself into trouble there. As per your request at the end, I think you're doing a great job. I think the request he means is, you know, please leave me a comment. You're obviously very well informed, and your voice isn't infuriating to listen to for an extended period of time like other people who do gameplay videos. Actually, I've gotten that comment a couple of times, that my voice is, like, soothing or something, and I am flattered. Well, but I don't see it. I have a very nasal, whiny, kind of grating voice, if you ask me. But I'm very flattered that some would think otherwise. The only request I have of you is that you remember me for when you become internet famous. I will remember you, dishes. And I've been doing this for a while now. I've been blogging, I've been podcasting. Back in 1995 and 6, I wrote the Space Quest FAQ for what was then the only Space Quest fan site available on the internet, back when the internet was fresh and new. And I think that was my taste of internet fame, although the internet was quite different back then, obviously, and I was a wee lad of 16 years of age, so that was 1996 actually. I think that was really my claim to fame, was back in 1996, and what I'm doing now is just sort of a hobby thing, and I'm very, very thankful that upwards of 1,700 people are watching me do this shit, and, you know, follow me on Twitter and read my blog and listen to the podcast and all this shit, but my days of internet fame are probably well behind me. So this is a hobby, and I'm very, very glad that I get to be able to do this as a hobby. So thank you. Thank you very much. Without Danny, you would be nothing! This comment made me laugh when I saw it. It is from a month ago, but I had to, you know, get it in here because it is just, that is fun. I like that. My reply to this was, with Danny, I am nothing. It's, I didn't mean to sort of coattail on Danny and the Game Grumps. He's just a very nice guy. He contacted me out of the blue. I would never have even thought to contact him myself or approach him or anything. And he just asked if there was anything he could do to help. I think he wanted to be on the Space Quest Historian podcast and talk about his love for Space Quest. And that was right after I had finished season 3 of the podcast, and I was like, dude, thank you so much. The podcast is really kind of on hiatus right now, where I'm not doing anything with it right now. I am, however, planning to play through the entire Space Quest series. Would you like to do some video introductions? And he said, sure. He even said, do you mind if I just film myself with the iPhone, or do you want me to, like, get in the studio and get the lighting going and all this? And no, just iPhone is fine. Dude, whatever, just thank you so much. I think I even blew him a kiss. Or blew him. And no, I didn't do that, because he's all the way over in California, and although well endowed and gifted in the penile department, I'm sure, I don't think anyone can claim to be able to reach transatlantic sort of, I'm just gonna get off that train right now. And then there's the other side of the coin. We get it, Danny brought you here, but what this guy's doing is amazing and really cool. Thank you. Will you please talk about his content rather than Danny bringing you here? And that was really, really sweet of you, Golden Waffles. But I don't mind people talking about other shit, or Danny, or, you know, coming here because of the Game Grump shoutout and all that. Perfectly fine with it. It is. I'm not ashamed to admit it is the reason why I guess like 85 or 90% of whoever's watching this right now, how they came to watch it in the first place. So hey, it's cool. Yeah. Why are his videos being deleted? These are great. Oh no, wait, they're privatized. There's actually a technical reason for this, and it's all YouTube's fault. The videos, if you go on my channel and you go into a playlist and you see that there are new episodes, but they're privatized, or like they're videos in queue, but they're all privatized. That's because I record the videos ahead of time. I try to stay a week ahead, schedule-wise, so everything you're seeing this week, I recorded last week. And everything you're going to see next week, I recorded this week, and all of this shit. So I upload them, and I schedule them, and I do all the, you know, thumbnail and shit, and all of that, and just upload it, and YouTube has the schedule option, so that the videos will go live when I tell them to go live. However, the way it does that is that it just marks the video as private. And if you add them to a playlist, which I do, because I like to stay somewhat organized, the videos actually show up as private videos until such time as they are released. Ah, your voice is fresh and smooth like Carlsberg. Wow. Well, I used to drink a lot of beer, and Carlsberg is not a bad beer. I don't care what anyone says. It might register as, you know, water like swill or piss to some, but hey, I like some cheap beer, and Carlsberg was very good. I am Danish, so Carlsberg is a Danish beer, and yeah. So thank you. That was a super solid Let's Play. I'm really pumped to be part of your skyrocket into YouTube stardom. Sure, whatever. Congratulations. Thank you sincerely for that comment. That was very, very nice of you. And here's a couple of comments about how I look like Stephen Merchant. And I actually had to look it up because I've never really been much into Ricky Gervais is his name. His kind of comedy, not that I dislike him or anything. He's a funny dude, but the sort of shows that he does has never really been my kind of thing. I mean, I've watched some of Extras and I've watched some of An Idiot Abroad, but it's never really been my thing. So I didn't know who Stephen Merchant was until I looked it up and went, oh, it's that dude from An Idiot Abroad. Oh, okay. And yeah, I guess there is some resemblance. I always thought I looked more like Matthew Gray Gubler from Criminal Minds. At least I've been told I do. Some people have also told me I look like Marilyn Manson without the makeup on, so yeah, well, there's that. While the stories of the comment section being one of the lowest levels of hell are somewhat exaggerated, they aren't exactly untrue. It's actually more friendly if the channel/video is less popular due to the smaller amount of people and the fact that haters tend to be a small but very loud group. The more popular the channel, the more hateful scum you'll find, and in a weird way this kind of makes hate comments a good sign. Don't take that the wrong way though, popularity doesn't exist directly proportional to channel quality. This was actually going back to what I was talking about in the beginning. The person here is absolutely right. I've been fortunate enough to still be somewhat under the radar, so I'm not getting like out of the blue hate comments or like the weird comments. And I know should the channel grow, you know, bigger. And I have a feeling it would. I mean, it would be really weird if it were just to stop and stagnate here, but from here to, like, YouTube stardom, there's still a long way to go, but the more people find the channel, the more start subscribing, also the more, you know, people of weird dispositions might show up. If you're just, you know, the kind people that you've been so far, then all the more power to that, and I'm really grateful for that. And if someone should jump in with just any amount of idiotic comments or hateful comments or whatever, I'll do my best to, you know, like, filter them out if it's just like weird nonsense or like truly hateful shit. But if it's just like, you know, constructive criticism, that's fine. Even if it's worded in a slightly antagonistic way, that's still fine. I'm not gonna try and let it get to me. So thanks. And yeah, it's not like I'm looking forward to hate comments, but I guess when I start getting my first couple of weird random hate comments, I'm actually gonna feel slightly proud. It might sting a little bit, probably, because haters and trolls always find some way to sort of jab at the one thing you get a little bit insecure about, and Lord knows I have plenty of things to be insecure about, but I'll try and take them in stride. So, yeah. That's about it for hate comments. I haven't gotten any so far, and from what I can read in the comments so far, you guys are all very nice and very mature and adult kind of people, so I have a feeling everything's gonna be fine. Famous last words. I mean this in the nicest way possible. Watching you do the Space Quest playthroughs makes me fall asleep. What I mean is you provide a relaxing tone that helps me chill after a long day. I've lived watching Sierra games since first seeing Steam Train, but they don't do enough. I'm excited to see all the Space Quest games. Keep it up. I thought this was a cool comment. This person actually falls asleep to me playing through Space Quest, and I'm all for that. If I can function in some way as, you know, narcolepsy-inducing drug or anything, hey, that is awesome. So please keep doing that. If someone writes in and says that they're like having sex to my videos, I'll probably have to press for more information. But just as a falling asleep tool, hey, I'm all for that. I do it myself. I watch you know, Let's Plays and YouTube videos and stuff from people I'm really, you know, follow, and I'm really interested in what they do, and sometimes I just put them on to fall asleep, and then the next day I wake up and then I actually, you know, finish watching the video to see what I missed as I was falling asleep. So hey, cool. And here's a couple of comments about the language. If English is your second language, what is your first? Hashtag second language. And so this is my first time leaving a comment here, and I don't want to be perceived incorrectly. See what I mean about nice and mature, and you guys are awesome. I find your knowledge and enthusiasm for these games to be intriguing. I'm glad to have found the channel. Again, very, very nice of you to say. That being said, how the fuck don't you have an accent? It trips me out. Like I had to struggle to convince myself that you aren't a native English speaker. Well, judging from the amount of ways I managed to fuck up reading your comments, I am all the more flattered that you would think so. Actually, I do have kind of a weird accent. I was actually there's the hashtag second grammar language. I was an exchange student back in 1997 to 1998, and I lived for a year in near Syracuse in New York. So a lot of the accent probably comes from living in the state of New York for a year. I won't say all of it because my brother and I used to watch a lot of English programming on TV when we were children, so we already knew a bit of English before we, you know, started having to learn it in school and all of that. So I think the accent just sort of came from watching a lot of American programming back in the late 80s and early 90s. And of course spending a year over there, and every once in a while, see, there you go, my tongue will just flat out refuse to cooperate, because switching between my native language, Danish, and English is kind of like, you know, you have to switch discs. There's kind of like this pause, and then your tongue and your mouth sort of reconfigure themselves, and then now we're into English. So if I had to switch back to speaking Danish, I would just have to, you'd kind of see my eyes glaze over for a bit, and then we're back to speaking the native language. Here's a couple of comments about the frequency of Space Quest videos, which I know 90% of you who are subscribed to the channel right now, that's what you came for, and to only have them come out like once a week is maybe a bit disappointing. I made a vlog at the start when, you know, the Grump Bump happened, that this is how shit was gonna go down. I was gonna do one Space Quest video a week and then some other content in the meantime, but I was upping it to 3 videos a week instead of 2 videos a week. And I think it's worked out in my favor, because it's allowed me to sort of gauge the interest in what other types of content I make. If it had turned out that no one gave a flying fuck what else I was doing on Wednesdays and Thursdays, then I might have, you know, maybe caved and done more Space Quest videos for you know, the week. But I like to play a lot of different games, and I think I would get a little stuck in a rut if I was doing like 2 or maybe even 3 Space Quest videos a week. I like to sort of spread things out and do things differently, and there are a lot of, this is probably the primary reason actually, there are a lot of new adventure games coming out that I'm very excited to play, and some of these you know, indie adventure game developers are friends of mine, and I really like to play their games on the channel, and you know, just pretend like I'm doing something to spread the word about their games and all of this stuff. I like to play new games as well. And so if I sort of had to put all of that aside to just focus on Space Quest games, I would probably get a bit bored with it, to be honest. Not that I would get bored of playing Space Quest, but, you know, there's a lot more to it than just playing the game when you're making a video. I replied to the comments when they came in, and I made that vlog where I explained why. And now I'm making another thing where I'm explaining why again, and people seem to have sort of accepted that. And some are treating it the way I had hoped they would treat it, like you would wait a week for the next episode of your favorite TV series to come out. And some people have said, you know what, I'm going to check back in a couple of months, and by then you'll probably be done with at least a couple of the games, and that's perfectly fine with me. In fact, here is one of those who seems to be on board with the idea. Tuesday is rapidly becoming my favorite day for YouTube updates. This series is one of the main reasons. Cool! Thank you! Thank you so much. Glad to see your channel's picking up steam. Now grow a beard. Are you sure you know what you're asking? Because last time I grew a beard, this happened. No, that was a comfy dress though. Your mic turns on and off. Well, actually it turns off. Your mic turns off when no sound is being detected or something. It sounds weird. Yes, I know. I've actually been trying to do my best to not have that be sort of an issue. It's mostly an issue if you're listening to my videos with headphones on. The reasons are, I'm gonna see if I can do this without knocking shit over. The reasons are that everything that I do goes through this old thing. It's an old M-Audio sound card, external sound card that's not being made anymore. My dad gave this to me over a decade ago, actually, and it's all being recorded through, yeah, I can actually show that as well. Through this old Sennheiser song microphone, really, which was given to me around the same time as the sound card. So I'm actually using equipment that's like a decade old, if not more. So that is why you will occasionally hear some hissing. Well, most of the time I gate the audio so that when there's no sound, or when the sound drops below a certain level, then it'll just mute the audio, so you don't get that constant hissing sound. But as I'm talking, there will be some underlying hiss. Just think of it as like a lo-fi recording. That is because I'm too cheap to go out and buy new shit. Did you come up with the idea of your alien icon? I love it, to tell the truth, but I don't exactly know why. Yeah, I did not really come up with the idea. The alien icon is actually a drawing, like a portrait of me that was drawn by Mark Crow. The guy who drew the graphics for Space Quest 1, 2, and 3, and art director for 4. He's one of the two guys from Andromeda. And he did that as a sort of thanks because I was helping them with the Kickstarter for the Space Venture, their game, which is now, I don't know, 5 years late or something. They've been having a hell of a time making it, but it is coming, and it's like a spiritual successor to the Space Quest series. And back in 2012, they contacted me and asked me to sort of help out with their Kickstarter campaign, just, you know, drum up some interest, because I'd been a pain in their ass back when they were at Sierra Online back in the 90s, and they thought, well, if this guy is so infatuated with Space Quest, why don't we just have him work for us for free? And I was more than happy to do that. So I went out and I got in touch with all the old kids from, you know, the Space Quest message boards back in the 90s. That was the social media of the 90s, were like message boards. So got in touch with a bunch of these people, and we, you know, started this online guerrilla team to promote the Space Venture Kickstarter in 2012, and succeeded funding the game. And he, as a thank you, Mark Crow drew a portrait of me, and that is now the alien icon. A friend of mine, Chris Gigerich, who is like a professional video editor in Germany, he put it like inside the StarCon logo. To sort of make the icon itself, but the full portrait, which is probably on screen right now unless I fucked something up, is a treasure. I treasure it immensely. which is why I use it as often as I can. I got your outro song stuck in my head so easily. Great video as always. Thank you so much. The outro song. I just wanted to get this in. This is the last comment. The outro song, which you will be hearing in just a tick, is, as you probably guessed, Space Quest fans at least would have guessed, it is the theme from Space Quest 3, like the main theme, but it was re-recorded by a dude named James Mulvale, who also did the music for a bunch of the infamous Quests games, Quest for Infamy, and they did a remake of Space Quest 2, a VGA remake, like a free fan remake, and he did some music for that. And I'm going to play that at the end of the Space Quest Ultimate playthrough series. And they were actually going to do Space Quest 3. You've maybe seen that video that I did when I hit 200 subscribers. I played through the little bit of Space Quest 3 that they did before they decided to, wait a minute, let's not do free games anymore. Let's actually try and do a commercial title. So they went off and did Quest for Infamy instead, which, by the way, James Mulvale scored. But by the time they made that decision, he had already done pretty much most of the Space Quest 3 soundtrack in a sort of updated version. And if you go to soundcloud.com/spacequest, you can get the full Space Quest 3 theme along with all the other tracks that he did for the Space Quest 3 remake that never was. Thank you so much, James. It's an awesome, kick-ass piece of music, and it still is. So that got a little more rambling than I thought. Anyway, I think I'm building up kind of a sweat. These fucking lights up here. I gotta show you this. It burns! It burns like 1,000 suns. Ooh, Hall of Mirrors effect. Space Quest 4 original box, signed by the two guys from Andromeda. A gift from Ken Allen. What a nice person. And this is me. That was a bit close, isn't it? Hi. So, anyway, quick studio tour. Anyway, this thing up here is, it's completely impossible to see, but it's actually 5 light bulbs on a strip. And they're always, whenever I'm doing a video, they're always pointing straight in my face. So after recording this for close to 40 minutes, I think I'm building up kind of a sweat. So I'm just gonna head back in my sweat box, and I'll like, subscribe, do whatever you kids do, but do leave me comments, leave me more comments, because I love the comments, and I'll see you around the Chrono stream.